What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Play with Bri. My name is Brandon Ask, and today we are starting something new. I call it Rewind with Bri. And it's something like a video cast where we're gonna do a review about the last gameplay that we just finished on the channel. It's a very chill back, chit chat, and I'm not alone to have this conversation with you guys. I think that everything that we do with a friend, it's much better. So today I want to introduce you my friend Chris.
Hey everyone, my name is Chris. Some might know me as Cup, and I'm here to chit chat a bit about Life is Strange. We organized a few topics to help this chat go forward.
So without further ado, let's get this started. If you haven't seen yet the gameplay that I did on the channel, click up here and check it out because there is a lot of spoilers about the gameplay. So, spoiler alert! Be careful and have fun. Hello, my friend. Are you ready to have this conversation with me, Chris?
Oh, I'm super excited. I was so excited for you to play this game, and now that you finished it.
Yes, like I told you before I even like released some of the videos that how excited I was to replay Life is Strange. It's for the people that play Life is Strange know how important it is, like all the universe, the relationship with Chloe, Max, and dealing with Kate, for example. There is so many such a deep and important characters on the game that it's just like a cool, simple gameplay. You get a relationship with them. You go deep on the relationship with the characters. So I was super happy to replay the game after so many years because I think the first time that I played this game was on 2015 when it was released the game. The first time that I played the game. It's a long time ago.
Almost 10 years.
Girl, yeah, it's 9 years. It's already 9 years since the first release of the game. That was like a boom on the internet, and I was just starting doing live streams in Portuguese in Brazil. So I wanted to play the game with the chat and just feel the sensation of playing this game. And it was like it was awesome. I can't deny. I love Life is Strange. I think that everybody that got this to build up this intimate relationship with the game know how impactful it was to play the game for the first time. And for me, it was an awesome moment. Like, I remember the feeling, but I don't think that I remember all the details about the story.
I also was one of those people who played the game right when it launched and when it was like a big fever. And this is actually the first game that sparked my interest in this kind of choice story-driven games.
Yes.
Life is Strange changed that for me, made me interested. I started playing a lot of other games, like especially Telltale games too. They were really big.
The Walking Dead game, right?
The Walking Dead, for instance, it's a Telltale game. There was Batman too. I've played it. It was really cool. But started with Life is Strange, and Life is Strange. It really surprises us because we are never expecting everything that we're gonna play there. So, but coming a little bit like as you were saying, because you have played this game before, and I've noticed that a lot of the game was still shocking to you, a lot of the plot twists. So even though you've played it before, you were able to immerse yourself throughout this gameplay. How was it for you revisiting the game? And
9 years later, right?
9 years later.
9 years later.
It's a whole new Brianna.
Yeah, it's a whole new Brianna, and I took a whole new approach to the game. I think the first time that I played the game, I had this very romantic, like dreamy feelings about relationship, adult life, love. And I think on my first gameplay, I was really into Chloe and Max, like, oh, they're a couple, they love each other. And I think that's a very sensible topic for the fans of Life is Strange, because some of them, like, it's had a really strong
Really want you
position
to
about
ship
this
it with
relationship.
one person.
Yeah, like they have a really strong position about the relationship between Chloe and Max. Before our conversation today, I was researching a little bit about what the community think about the game, what they have thought about the game, and I saw an interview with one of the voice actors, the voice actor for Chloe, and on her interview, she didn't felt like Chloe and Max was in a romantic relationship as it says, or how the community were seeing. Like they were in a very close by relationship, and more strongly because the things that they went through together, how Max saved Chloe, how Max showed for Chloe that she has a power, and how together they are working to try to understand what happened to Rachel and everything else. So they build up this closeness together because they were apart like for a few years before that, in a very important moment for the lives of Chloe. So the voice actor actually told, like, she believed that Chloe had a romantic relationship with Rachel, but like with Max, depending on how you play the game, it get like more romantic to the end and stuff like that. But on the beginning, it's just like more rebuilding an old close relationship that you had with a best friend, you know?
Definitely. When I played the game, I remember that I really liked Chloe character. I think that Chloe, I want to talk a bit more deeply about Chloe a little bit later in this conversation.
Okay.
But Chloe has this kind of rebel thing going on, and I think I had a little bit of a crush on her. So when I played the game, I remember that I had kissed Warren, which is one of Max's love interests. And at the end, there is not a choice to kiss Chloe, but I think that depending on how you play the game, on the choice that you make, you will kiss Chloe. And I've kissed Chloe on that last choice. Watching your gameplay, I noticed that you didn't.
Yes.
I mean, was not your choice, but Max didn't kiss Chloe with like the last decision. And I don't know. I don't know what makes you do that. But I remember
researched about that actually.
Oh, you did?
Yes. Like it was not like we didn't talk about that before of recording this, but I actually got an answer for that. And on the interview with the voice actor of Chloe, she says that there is some moments on the story where you can choose be on Chloe's side. For example, when she was arguing with her stepdad, if you choose to be on her side, you get closer. When you are on the junkyard, when Frank comes up and you have the option to shoot Frank. If you like choose to shoot Frank, it's like you were saying for Chloe, like I can kill for you. That's how much I care about you. If you take these little choices, for example, you can remember when both of them invaded the school, and when they were in the principal office, Chloe found money for the handicap construction on the school. Do you remember that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and Chloe wants to take the money so she can pay up Frank. And if you
side with her more,
if you side with her more, you get close to her, and on the end, you can kiss her and have this deep connection, deep romantic connection. But like on my first gameplay, I think that I kissed her on the end also, because I was like all crazy about her. Also, I crush her so much. She's kind of punk, gothic. Oh, I'm so crazy.
But today you were more like Warren. You like more than Warren.
And that's because I think that myself, I changed through the years. I got a
Yeah.
new view about relationship. I got a new view about life. I like much more a structure relationship, a secure relationship, someone that I can count, that would not be pulling me to the bad stuff, that cares about my well-being. And I think that through the story of Chloe and Max, Chloe cared more
Mm-hmm.
about herself than just the how safe and the right things that Max were doing. For example, I remember the first confrontation that they had was on the junkyard with Frank, actually, that you were confronted by the choice of shooting Frank or not shooting him. And I remember
Mm-hmm.
that, like, when I choose to not shoot Frank, Chloe was kind of mad that I didn't shoot him. And like, I don't think that's a healthy relationship. I don't want someone that, oh, you have to kill for me if you like me. That's not someone that I want to have a relationship, or neither a friendship or a romantic relationship. You get what I'm saying? I want someone
Definitely.
more structure.
And Warren, throughout the game, watching you replay the game, I paid more attention to how Warren is. It's like he completely respects you, like your limits. Like
Yes.
at all times, he's trying to be there for you. But
Mm-hmm.
when Max is like, I don't want you to get too involved. He's also respecting that, but he's
Super.
always there for you too. So I think like an adult looking at both these characters would much more look and think like Warren is a much better pair to
Yeah, like,
as a love interest. But I think too, like I think that it's funny that this game even has, in a way, love interests, because
mm-hmm.
what's happening to Max is
So
much bigger
wild.
than who she likes or she kisses or she doesn't kiss. Because that's why I think that there's no opportunity for her to get to
Deeper
spend
this
more time with
relationship. Yes.
Warren or
Uh-huh.
even with Chloe, because there's an assassination, there's a storm coming, and everything is on her shoulders, and she does it. And everything's weighed down too much at the end, and like, what can she do? Like,
It's kind of crazy if you think about, because everything that happened on the game happened in a gap like of 1 week. Everything
I think
happened in
5 days
yeah,
even.
less than a week, full week. It's like 5 days. She learned that she has a power. She's killing and unkilling and changing the timeline. And every time that she do something and change the timeline, she learned that her choices have consequence, and not all consequences are something that she's like want to deal with, want to accept the consequence from her decisions. And it's so heavy. Like, she has a
Yeah.
really strong mind and like psychological state to deal with this kind of stuff. Because if it was me, I think I would like crash out. I would not be able
At
to do
episode
such a heavy
one, you would
decisions.
crash out at episode one.
Yes, of course. Like, what the fuck? What
So,
the fuck?
since we're talking about how heavy this is, I want to bring
Mm-hmm.
up a subject that
Yes.
is that when we start Life is Strange, we might know a bit about what's coming up, because we get this game and it's like, oh, it's a game with choices to make, with a
Mm-hmm.
rewind power ability. So we're expecting this part, but we are not expecting having the weight of Kate's life in episode 2 out of a sudden. And for a
Yeah.
lot of players, like the moments that we're in classroom and everyone starts screaming and saying,
See in my
Yo, some crazy shit is going down in the girls' dorm.
For
people,
you telling me
yeah,
that.
imagine, because you were one of those players which you noticed Kate. You've paid
Mm-hmm.
attention to her. Like you've noticed she was sad at the beginning. You went to her room and noticed all the things. A lot of players don't.
No.
Just see her as an NPC and don't look too much things on her room. And out of a sudden, she's on a rooftop, and it's your responsibility if she will live or not.
That's so
How do you think the
crazy.
game handled that?
It was so crazy. I think like the whole Kate arc is just a game by itself. You know, we can do just a
Yeah.
game for Kate because it was so well made, so well done. The little signs that she gave, the bullying, the classmates, the exposure that they done about her on the party, how her mind was fragile about everyone like laughing at her and she feeling so lonely. And it's something that I kind of feel like close to Kate because I'm a person that has dealt with depression my whole life. I know how it is, the signs and how people act when they're depressed and how this kind of stuff can be heavens on someone's mind. And for me, I felt like on the duty that oh, I'm noticing there is something very wrong with her, and if I can do something, I want to do something. I want to be close to her. I want to comfort her. I want to defend her by others. And it was so difficult because on the beginning, we have some choices of, for example, when she were like, oh, should I go to the police when we were at her bedroom and it was so dark, so gloomy, so depressed. And she was like, "Oh, should I go to the police?" And you were like in such a difficult position because you know if she goes to the police, I don't think that things would end up good for her. Nathan is a
Yeah.
rich, powerful family, has the police on the bank list that they are paying the police for them. Like that's would not be good for Kate. And we didn't have any clues that to say like, oh, Nathan did this or he's responsible for everything that happened. We had nothing. We would just be there like Kate, a poor person alone that got recorded kissing everyone crazy, and Nathan, the powerful one, the respectful one. So it's so you were putting so hard decisions about Kate, and when you were confronted about all the decisions that you made on the relationship with Kate on the rooftop. Oh my God. That was so difficult because each and everything that you say, like you are putting her close to jump or you're getting close to do not let her
To
jump.
her. Yeah.
Oh, it was like, it was really
It-
difficult.
and it also like a moment the first time since you start playing the game that your power is not working.
Yes, like what
Because
the
you
fuck?
feel like you're super powerful all the time during all these first two episodes, and then at the most pivotal moment for her life, the power is not working. And like if you haven't paid attention to her, if you haven't t- t- if you haven't told her things that would bring both of you closer together, then she would have gone. And in fact, this is the only time in the gameplay that you went back on a decision that you made.
Yes. Yes, actually that's true. That's a very important thing to mention because I reloaded the game to play it to get the right answers because I did not accept it to lose Kate. I did not accept it. And it's a really important thing to mention because on the conversation with Kate on the rooftop, she mentioned a little things that you just gonna know if you really pay attention for her room, the things that she has around her room, the picture with her father, like
The biblical passage, which
the
was
biblical
the one that you
passage.
got wrong.
Yes, like you have to pay so much attention for everything if you really wanna like say the right things to save her. And I had to do again. I would not continue play the game if I like lose Kate and I had to dealt with the mourning of losing Kate because of the bullying. That would be crazy.
And I think like one heavy thing about actually losing losing this battle and having Kate to jump is that even though that happens in the episode 2, the outcome of this kept being reminded all the time during the game. When I played the game, I also was able at first to save Kate. I'm so glad that it did, because when you don't, like you don't get to see her at the hospital. Everyone keeps talking about how she's gone, and etc. Things, a lot of things that people say change throughout the game, and especially if you feel responsible for that, which Max ends up feeling. Like it kept throwing at your face that you weren't able to
Yes, like
save
you
her.
failed to save her. And it's kind of your fault because you were there and you were not able to save her. And that's so heavy. I would not like to carry this kind of heavy weight on my mind. I did not accept it. Like I felt like Max with the power to rewind time when I reload the game, because I was like, okay, Max, your powers don't work, but mine as a player work, and I will not accept this outcome. I will not.
And I think a lot of players did that too, Brie. You're definitely not alone at that.
Yeah.
But also going through another character that we talked a bit already, but let's just talk about her. Okay. I've noticed that while you played, you got really, really annoyed at Chloe at times. Even like today in our conversation, you also talked a bit about that, especially at first in your gameplay. But in the end, I think you grew more fond of her up to the end of the game. What do you think of her now that you finished game, like as a complete character?
Oh, I think that she translates a lot about humans. I think that all the Life is Strange gameplay just make us remember humanity as all. There is no perfect human. Everyone has to deal with shit. Everyone has to deal with a lot of stuff. Even on the Nathan's arc, we learn much more about them through the game, and we learn how he felt with relationship with his father, and how he was used about the professor also. That's not to take his responsibility on Rachel's death or anything like that. But it's important for us to see that everyone is dealing with some stuff on their lives, and there is no perfect human. There is not like, oh, this is just a good person and that's a bad person. I think depending on the situation that we are in, we can take like bad decisions and we can take good decisions. And I thought a lot about that with Chloe also. She's a young teenager woman, like went through a lot of bad stuff with the trauma of losing her dad, decide to deal with that in not the best way possible, going with drugs, drinking, and being all punky and against the system. Like, I'm okay, I'm against the system also, but you don't have to be so rebel all the time with stuff that doesn't make sense, you know? Like, she lost her scholarship because of this behavior that she has. She was a student on Blackwell also, and ended up lost in her studentship on Blackwell because of her behavior and everything else. So it's really a reminder of how complex humans can be and how we can be other people depends on the situations that we went through on our life. We get a view of how Chloe could change her life if she did not lose her dad. Like, she went to the scholar, she was a great student, but like it crashed her car and went quadriplegic, and she went depressed.
One sad thing that I think about like this, like parallel worlds, what could have been to, is that like we see this Chloe in this parallel world where she didn't lose her father, but we also see her in the real timeline, like in the timeline where you save her in that bathroom. And I think we are able to see on how people around her are also able to show sides of Chloe that we don't see at first. Because at first, I think that we see more of this Chloe that is rebel, that is reckless, that is enraged, that is so angry. But after just 5 days with you, remembering her that she's loved, that she's cared, and all of the past that they had together, she's already like changing too. She, like, in the beginning of the game, she pushes you to do some reckless things, but in
Yes.
the end of the game, she's already like siding with you. I remember on how, like, in the end, she was already apologizing. Like, for
Yes.
instance, Kate calls you, I think you're at the diner, and Kate calls you,
Yes.
and she's like super rude to you because if you
She
choose to
was
get
jealous. She was
yeah.
jealous.
But afterwards, she's already apologizing for that because she says she was wrong and she was being
Good point.
selfish.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I can imagine that Chloe is responsible for her acts, but she's also a byproduct of her ambient, like of the
As
environment. And
every human. As
yes,
every human. That's so nice to point it out. Like how our environment, how the situations that we are in, the people that are in our lives can affect how we deal with the problems that we get to, how we deal with society, how we deal with ourselves in our lives. Because we can see that, for example, the times that we go back on the past, we can talk to Kate again. Like you can remember one of the last times that we rewind time and go back to the classroom, the beginning of the gameplay, where we talk to Kate. We go to Kate and say, "You are valid. You are loved. I care about you so much. You have to know that." And Kate just go like, "Oh, you have no idea how important that is for me." And if you see after that on the SMS that they send each other through the game, you
yep.
can see Kate saying like, "Oh, thank you so much for saying that to me. I was feeling so lonely and so desperate, and your message came as a message of an angel." And it's so nice to see, for example, like if you pay attention for the people around you, you can impact their life in a very positive way. You can change the path of their own lives for the things that you do. And that's something for me that the game makes me reflect through the game, because through the years, I have dealt with a lot of stuff. For example, as Chloe, I lost my mom. And for a lot of moments, I thought like if I were able to come back time and make her to look for a doctor, and maybe she would be here. Maybe I would still have my mom, but I would not be the same Brianna. I would be another Brianna, because the person that I am without my mother and the person that I was with my mother are two different persons. And on the real life, we do not have the choice to come back on time.
No, you
We just
don't.
have to accept it and deal with the stuff and learn from it. I think that's a very important topic to go through. Like you have to see the things that are happening through your life and try not to fight with the things that already happened. What happened happened. You cannot change that. You can change from now on, from now to the future. What are we gonna do with the things that we learn from the wrongdoings and the errors that we done on the past? We can learn from them, and we can build a new path from our future, from the person that we wanna be on the future. And that's what I think one of the most important topics that we can get from the game. Like, deal with the stuff that happened through your life, but learn how to see them as a way to better your own future, not as like a definitive statement. Oh my God, I lost my mother. I don't have a future. I don't have anyone else. No, I can keep going. I can keep building myself and helping people and have a good impact on other people's life also.
This game really brings us to some like deep thinking about a
Yes.
lot of stuff that when we think like, oh, this is a game with time travel powers, we don't think that
Yeah.
it will bring to all of that, especially like to a teenage mind, which I think that this game is more directed
Yes.
towards, like more with all this like teenage settings, these teenage characters too. Because
Mm-hmm.
one thing to remind, these all of these characters are still so young and dealing
Yes.
with so much.
They were like 19, something like that. They did just finish high school. They went to the university for college.
Yeah.
They're 18, 19 years old. I don't think they're even like 20 years old, like the legal age to be drinking. I don't think so. So they are
Yeah.
really young. They're really young. That's important stuff to remember because if I think the time that I was like 19, 18, like it's a totally different person from like 30 years old that I'm today. And that's so crazy to think about. Like so crazy, but it's so good also to remember everything that we went through, everything that we survived, to be here and to be the person that we are today.
Going towards like the end of the game, in
Mm-hmm.
fact, like we are faced with two terrible decisions, like two terrible fates that we have to choose.
Yes,
And
that
this is
was.
actually a thing that when I played the game, it really bothered me.
Uh-huh.
The fact that we have all these choices throughout the game, but in the end, the most important one is the final one. Because if you choose, the choices are if you choose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay to save Chloe, or you choose to sacrifice Chloe to save Arcadia Bay.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people that choose different things than us.
Uh-huh.
And if you were someone who chose that, I would love to hear why did you choose that in the comments here.
Please comment below.
What do you think about it, and why did you take the decision that you took, saving the city and not Chloe, this character that we've been trying so hard to save throughout the entire game?
Yes, like I thought about that after some of the comments that our viewers, the Brie lovers from the channel Play with Brie, comment below after the final episode came on the channel. And I think that throughout the gameplay, a lot of the decisions that Max did about Chloe was from some guilt for leaving her, for being away for
Yeah.
such a long time from her. And she kind of felt responsible for Chloe's life on that bathroom. She kind of like just
Yeah.
took at this responsibility about Chloe's life and just go with it. Like, oh, I saved her one time. I can save her again. 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 But in one moment, you have like, oh, maybe you can save her. But you have to look the consequences of your choice. If you save her, you're gonna sacrifice this like there's 1,000 people on the city. That's the price that you are like wanna pay for it. Are you sure you wanna pay for it? Are you sure you wanna change the timeline just to save her?
And even this ending where you choose to sacrifice Arcadia Bay, it's so melancholic because like the ending that you choose, even though Chloe is gone, it feels really hopeful. Like it
Yes.
feels really positive. But
Yes.
on the other one, all we see is like we driving through an Arcadia Bay and going away from Arcadia Bay, which is completely destroyed. And in the game, yeah, and in the
So
game, we don't
crazy.
even know like who survived.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know who survived. I
Actually,
think
we
there
kind of
are.
learn about who survived because oh no, we kind of saved her because we came back time because I was remember that when we were on the city, like the diner blowing up, Warren dying, her mother dying, Franken dying, her dog dying, like everyone were dying,
Yeah.
and like you know, I just felt like life has a way to go through. And if there is like this magical timeline that we can mess it up somehow, was trying to tell Max, like, she's meant to die. This is meant to be happen. And if this not happen, you're gonna pay a heavy price for changing the timeline. And on the
other people will pay.
yes, like other people is gonna pay. Like we don't know if something worse would happen to Max on the future. We're gonna learn now on the new game Double Exposure. I don't know if they're gonna do some correlationship. Like I don't know if in the beginning. I think that would be nice on the beginning of Double Exposure. They have you a choice. Like did you save Arcadia Bay or did you save Chloe? Because the way that you choose
I hope
can change the game,
like
right? No.
Totally. A lot of expectations about Double Exposure. In fact, as a curiosity for everyone who's watching this channel, is that the fact that they announced Double Exposure ignited a spark in Brianna's, which made her wants to play all the Life is Strange series.
And even start this channel
first, and started this channel so that she can also do this lifelong dream, which is being a gamer on YouTube.
A gamer YouTuber.
I really hope this game will be really nice. I have I'm trying not to put too much expectations, so just I like.
Okay, I
go with a free mind, you know. I don't want to put too much expectation, and that's
I totally agree with you. I think that's the best way to approach a new game. Like, don't go with like such a heavy expectations. Just like, oh my god. For example, Life is Strange was like a mark on the gender of like I don't know, like a choice. Like gender, it's my gender, it's another thing. Like, I'm sorry, guys. But like, Life is Strange was a really big mark on this type of game. Like, your choices can affect the gameplay and stuff like that. So I don't think that Double Exposure wanna be like revolutionary or something like that. I'm not going with this mindset. I'm just like, I'm super excited to have a new gameplay on this whole universe with Max grown up. She's a woman now. She's not a kid anymore. It's 9 years later, right? Like, it's 10 years later.
And she's so beautiful.
Beautiful. She's a fully grown up woman, and it's so nice to see. And I want for the things that I hope for Double Exposure is like how it was like her life after that. She continued using her power. She didn't use any more power. Did she like learn new powers? I want to know, girl.
To be fair, one thing that I've never read, but also talking about this like post game, I know there is an official comic that brings out a little bit of what was the post of the Saving Chloe ending.
I didn't know about that.
I know it exists. I never read it, but I know it exists. And I know that a lot of people thought that because this comic existed, that this was the canon ending.
Oh.
But I think like the Double Exposure will bring us. I think in a game where we see that exists parallel worlds, there is no canon.
Yes, and that's one thing that I was thinking about Life is Strange. For what, if you remember, on the conversation, on the time that Max used the Warren picture that she kissed him like on the diner. That I think that was so cute, actually. I think that was so cute because I think that Warren was about to say something like, I care about you, I'm in love with you, I love you, or something like that. And Max was just like, I know, you don't have to say. And he was like, okay, you know, girl, you rock, you already knew that. And I was like, that's so cute. That's so beautiful. beautiful. But that time when she used the photo to come back on the past, that like Warren took the picture when the Max and Chloe were entering the party. Do you remember that? Like they both were entering the party, and there is a conversation that Max said to Chloe that was like, "I will not remember this later." So try to picture what I'm gonna try to say for you. I think that it was not Max as itself going back on the past. I don't know exactly how it is, but I think it's just like she entered on herself, on her mind from a new timeline or something like that, because she blinked like I'm not gonna remember this later. Why I'm not gonna remember this later? Like there is just one mind. I'm entering this body. Blah 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 blah. What the fuck is happening?
Yeah, I think that what the game implies, and it's funny because now that you mention, that's the only time that the game actually lets that clear. It doesn't teach us that that's how it happens. Like when she uses the powers to go through photos to the time that the photo was taken, she only stays there for a second in her body at that time.
Yes.
And then what happens after she changes things throughout the time travel to the photo thing. By that speech of hers, what she says at that time, we understand now that it's like a ghost is like taking her body.
Yes.
And then after that time, it's coming back to the Max at that time, and she doesn't remember. That's really curious. But her powers are also a little bit how do I say, they keep contradictory. I know that there is a better word in English for this, but I don't remember it now. But like one thing that always bothered me about this game, about the powers in this game, is like we learn that her rewind powers works like she's here and then she rewinds and everything around her rewinds, but she's not rewinding because she stays at the same place. That's how you get into the principal's office. And that's so weird that for people she will be like teleporting every time that she's rewinding, because she's rewinding the whole world but herself. And also it doesn't happen at the most important time that she uses her rewind powers. That is the first time, because the first time she rewinds but she goes back to the classroom. If the power, the way that it works, the rest of the game should work the same way, she should like have rewinded and stayed in the bathroom, not went back to the class.
Yes, that's true. That's true, girl. That's a very good point that I didn't thought about that earlier.
I think that was a problem of writing.
Yes, totally. And we got it to be sincere. It's a little bit hard to build the timeline of rewind and stuff, how to make sense of that, because everything can happen. You can be contradictory with like rewind time. Like who made the rules? I'm writing. I can make the rules. I'm gonna make it work how it should work. That's kind of crazy. That's cold. I was, when you were telling me about like when she used the power, you can see a little ghost of her moving also. You can see a ghost of her moving, but it seems like she stepped out of timeline when she's using her power. But the moment that she stopped using the power, she just replaced herself in that moment. It's weird. It's really a weird way to use her power. Yeah, it's a really fucked up power, and like that's what I'm saying. Like, it's really impressive that Max didn't went crazy on this whole journey. That she learned her power, and she learned so
That's the
many
thing, though.
powers.
I think she did. I think she
Went a little
did
bit
because towards
crazy.
the end we have that dream nightmare sequence, which is
Yes.
really really
What the
creepy.
fuck was that? What the fuck was that
I
place?
Yeah, I think that the way that I interpret it is that not only actually she's getting a little bit like too pressured with everything, but also like the storm that was happening literally on Arcadia Bay is also happening in a way on her mind because it's her
It makes
power
sense.
causing it.
It makes sense. It makes sense, but also like it left me with a feeling of a much stronger power overlooking everything that she was doing. Because
Yeah.
something decided to confront her with every decision that she made throughout
Yeah,
the
that's also
game.
a way to look at
Do
it.
you remember that? Like something like before
Even
she
creates a
went.
path.
Yes. Like something decided to confront her with her every decision, every time that she chose to save Chloe, every time that she was with Chloe, every person that she changed the lives of them because of her power and her decision to finally go to the lighthouse and made the final decision. Are you
Yeah.
sure you want to pay the price for the things that you are doing? That's gonna end
Are you
up.
sure you want to pay the price to save Chloe Price?
Yes. And that's where I went through my decision. Like choosing
Yeah.
Chloe was for me was the right decision. For like
Yeah,
I
for
had
me
this
too.
feeling of a bigger power than me. I didn't feel like I was the most powerful being in the whole universe. I can do whatever I want because I cannot do whatever I want because something else, something more powerful for me are changing the things when I try to do something. I want to save Chloe.
There are
Oh, but Bert's
consequences.
gonna die. Animals is gonna start appearing, dying on the beach. A whole hurricane destroyers of cities gonna come up. Something are looking for what I'm doing, and I name it as like the right path of life. I was trying to change how things should be, like destiny, maybe. Like I was trying to change destiny as was meant to be, and I didn't was I didn't felt like was right to save her and sacrifice so many other lives just to save her.
Yeah.
I didn't felt like that, and then I was like, I was actually happy with the final result
The
as I
outcome, yeah.
yeah the
I think,
outcome.
as I said, I think that that one is a really hopeful looking ending,
Yes,
even though Chloe is dead, which is what would happen even if Max didn't have the power. All those, it's not like everything was in vain because everything that you lived first, it happened as just as Chloe says.
mm-hmm.
Everything that she lived with Chloe was real.
Yes,
Only Max will remember that, but it was real. And like all that thing that she did was on this new timeline, she was able to save Kate again. She was able to save also Victoria, which also could have died for Mark Jefferson's expensive. She
mm-hmm.
was able to make Mark Jefferson go to jail.
Yes.
Uh, Chloe's parents, mom and stepdad, they're together. They're still happy, even though Chloe's gone. They're together to support each other. So it's not like it was in vain. I think
Yes.
it's a really hopeful ending.
Yes, I totally agree with you. Was a hopeful outcome, and it's a outcome that I don't regret the decision that I made through. Like for real, like I think that that's was the right way that it was meant to be.
I agree. I also chose that. But now I have a question for you. What is next? Because now that you've played Life is Strange 1, you're
Mhm.
going out with Life is Strange Before the Storm, right?
Yes, the next long gameplay that I'm gonna do the channel, it's gonna be Life is Strange Before the Storm. And I'm super excited to see that, like, what happened with Chloe to be the Chloe that we met on Life is Strange first game,
Yeah.
you know?
I know nothing about that game. I
You
really
didn't
don't.
play
So it's gonna
before?
be. No, I've only ever played Life is Strange 1. So I'm
Wow.
excited because you're gonna play it, but I'm also gonna play it by myself, and I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
watch you
It's
playing
gonna be
it,
nice to
and
see
let's
like the
see.
difference of decisions that we both made and how
Yeah,
outcomes came from that. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited to play
it's
this game
gonna be.
again. As Life is Strange, I've played Life is Strange Before the Storm also in the past, but I'm gonna be
Oh,
sincere that I remember less from Life is Strange Before the Storm, then I remember Life is Strange, the first game. So I don't
okay.
actually have like any memories of the game. So it's gonna be like I'm a new person to the game. So it's gonna be all new for me. The whole arc. I don't remember what's the arc of Life is Strange Before the Storm. I know that the Rachel is gonna end up dying and Chloe's gonna fuck herself up and get expelled from the
Things that we
school.
learn at this game, yeah.
Yeah, that we learn on Life is Strange, but I don't know about specifically things that have. I have like one thing on memories. I remember there is some like mini games
No
that you can
spoilers for
play.
me.
No, it's not something important. Just like I remember this mini game that you can play with a guy. I think it's Dragons and Dungeons that you can play with him on the outside of Blackwell. There is this little bench that you can play with him. I remember
Okay.
that on my gameplay, but it's just that memory that I have from the game. It's just that. I don't remember anything else. So it's gonna be super awesome, and I'm super excited. Okay, Chris, I'm super happy to have this conversation. To have this conversation with you about Life is Strange. Hopefully, all the viewers that were watching us like also. Please remember to comment below what you think about the things that we had a conversation here, because it's so nice when we are able to talk with a friend about a game that we just played, and it's a great way to see more in depth how the person felt playing the game, if you feel the same, and how it was another perspective about every decision that they made. Thank you so much, and guys, you can be like be comfortable with Chris on the channel because we're gonna do this a lot of more times, hopefully. And thank you so much for
Ooh.
being here with us today.
It's always my pleasure. Diana is a big friend of mine and big and tall friend. She's 2 meters tall. You can see there, but she's really
Yeah.
tall. And like, I'm really happy to be a part of this new journey she's going into with this new channel. So can wait till we talk about Life's Strange Before the Storm.
No, it's gonna be awesome. Kisses, guys. I hope to see you on the next video. Remember to subscribe and give the thumbs up to see more videos like this.